India versus Pakistan. It's a matchup that doesn't occur often, but when it does, the encounter assumes vital importance.
काफ़ी आपको पता है गर्म वेदर था, हमने कोशिश की 4 दिन प्रैक्टिस की, 5 दिन उसके बाद एक प्रैक्टिस मैच खेला, तो तैयारी माशाल्लाह बहुत अच्छी है और कोशिश करेंगे वहाँ भी जो 4 दिन मिले हमें पहले मैच से पहले.
Pakistan have the mental edge of having dominated India in the Champions Trophy final last year, while Captain Kohli isn't around to seek redemption. His stand-in man is taking this tournament very seriously.
Of course, it's as you said, this tournament doesn't give you any chance to make mistakes. You know, one mistake can cost you the entire series, and you might be out of the series. So you got to be at it all the time.
It's an ideal scenario for fans starved of the great rivalry. Regardless the result of tonight's game, they would hope Pakistan play India 2 more times this fortnight. No matter how much I tried to play down this contest by saying both these teams have qualified for the Super 8 or the Super 4, I beg your pardon, it's not going to help because none of you are going to believe me, so I'm not even going to try. But the fact of the matter is these two teams don't play very often, which is why every time they play, the match assumes great significance. You're watching ESPN Cricinfo Match Day in association with our technology partner Vivo. I'm Nikhil Naz, and talking about these two teams not meeting very often, I'm joined by someone who we don't get to meet very often because he's traveling the world. So Sanjay Manjrekar joins us right now. With him, Ajit Agarkar also joining us. Saklain Mushtaq live on the link, and since I've got a Manjrekar and an Agarkar, we thought we got another Kar there. He was a serial wicket taker. That's what he did while he was playing cricket. Okay, we've already set this match up with these two.
Tell me one thing, why are you trying to underplay India-Pakistan contest? That is my question to you before you ask me a question.
I'll tell you why, because it doesn't matter who's going to win or lose this game. You're going to play again, and that's going to be the match.
Very cleverly scheduled kind of table that they've got. They're ensuring that India-Pakistan play twice anyway, and if India and Pakistan both play well enough in the tournament, they could play again in the finals.
Right. So it's effectively, many are saying, I'm not, many are saying it's a bilateral India-Pakistan series. Yes. Hong Kong could have been the party pooper. Okay, these two set up the match for us, and both of them thought it was a 50-50 sort of a game. Ajit, in fact, went to the extent by saying Pakistan start as the slight favorite. You set this game, Mas.
I said the same thing as well, because they play a lot in the Middle East. They played on the same ground already, and their batting has always been an issue over the years. Their bowling has been the stronger forte, but off late the batting is starting to look good. With people like Ul Haq, Imam Ul Haq, and of course Babar Azam also is getting runs. And finally, you see Pakistan batting being a little compact. It's always been a kind of batting where you felt that T20 specialist batsmen are trying to play the longer format, not anymore.
All right, okay, we're getting latest news there now from Dubai. Pakistan have won the toss. They've decided to bat. Saklain, I'll come to you on that one. That seems to be like the first strike to Pakistan, because we've seen 4 games so far at the Asia Cup. 3 times the team that has batted first has won. So Pakistan must be happy winning that toss.
Yeah, Nikhil, definitely their bowling unit, they heavily rely on the bowling unit. Their strength is to actually defend the total. So that's why they won the toss and they want to bat. And obviously, runs on the board, that is another pressure playing against India. I think, as I mentioned in the previous program, Pakistan, they need to actually learn how to chase the runs as well. We are not too good into that, but we are very good to restrict the opposition in the second innings because our strength is bowling. So I think this is the right decision to win the toss and bat and put the runs on the board.
It's an interesting one. We saw last night batting second was a lot easier than batting first. Easier in the sense the ball seemed to come onto the bat a little bit better than in the afternoon. But they want to put India back in the heat. 2 back-to-back games. I don't know when I've heard that last. India anyway looked a little bit lackluster last night. To put them back in the field, I think it's the right call.
Suits India as well, and I think modern batsmen also in recent time, Nikhil, if you've seen, they're more comfortable chasing because they want a kind of a number to chase instead of just batting first and putting the runs on the board. So I think this suits India.
Okay, just looking at this, it is a neutral venue, so to say, but whenever we compare 2 teams, it's usually the team that's at home seems to be the one going into favourite. For this, Pakistan is home. They played 60% of the match. On the other hand, India hardly plays there now.
Yeah, and also they're missing Virat Kohli. I mean, that's a huge factor. No matter what, I think those top 3 of India have carried them over the last 18 months at least, if not more. You can see there is still that uncertainty in that 4, 5, 6 spots, not enough runs if the top three don't get enough, and Virat Kohli is missing. So you'd think Pakistan look a lot more settled. Sanjay mentioned their batting, which is, with bowling you kind of expect them to do well, but batting, if they can put runs on the board, will put pressure on them.
Without Virat Kohli, India is clearly weakened, but India is not a weak team. It's still a very strong team, but more evenly matched, and that's why I feel this time is going to be slightly different, because earlier there was more hype and less intensity in the actual contest because India was the superior side in the last few years. This one is a little more closer, so I'm really looking forward to this encounter, because the hype outside actually is equal to the kind of intensity we'll actually see between the two teams.
Okay, that brings me to our next point. Of course, all the interest was regarding the playing 11, the team that India will go with, and we've got the Indian playing 11 at the moment, and two changes, what I've been told, for the Indian team compared to the match that they played against Hong Kong. The two changes there, Jasprit Bumrah I can see is in and Hardik Pandya is in, so the batting effectively
so I think Rahul is not in. We thought KL Rahul might be sort of brought into the plans of India's one-day cricket because of India's batting issues in test matches. I think it might be not such a bad idea to involve him in almost all matches that India played, but clearly they want to win this tournament and they've gone for the 50-over specialist.
Okay, what did you make of that, Chen? Because we spoke about Karthik / Rahul.
I don't think at the moment there's too much in between those two to pick. They've stuck with guy who's played last night. He got 30 odd as well. If they get Rahul, he has to bat number 3, drop Raidu down, who's got a 60 as well last night. Tough one.
But they could have done that.
I
find Ambati Raidu a better number 4-5 player or 6. But the last time he played for India, also Virat Kohli was captain and he allowed Raidu to bat at number 3 and he got 100 there as well. So they feel that he's not bad at number 3. But I don't agree with this, Dinesh Karthik pushing that's going on in 50 overs cricket. I think is ideal for T20s, as we saw in that Nida Hassett trophy, and India needs to move away from, I think, people like Dinesh Karthik, who they keep going back to, and people who have been around for a long time, senior in age, and still not certainties. You've got to start looking at young, more exciting options.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. Between the two, you've always got to go for Rahul. Even if the runs are similar, Rahul would have been my pick.
Right, but you couldn't have done it after that one match, is what you're trying to say with Dinesh Karthik. Just either you could have played Rahul at that Hong Kong game, or then he gets 30 odd and then you.
I'm not sure why they didn't play him yesterday. Possibly rested him after the England tour, but I mean, after one game, I'm never in favor of dropping something.
Maybe Rohit also wants to deliberately do something different from Virat, and he has not changed the side too much.
All of that might change depending on the results as the tournament progresses. Clint, to you, we'll get the Pakistan playing 11 a little later. One question on the Indian team. Whatever little you saw of the Indian batting lineup versus Hong Kong, that must have given a lot of confidence to the Pakistani bowlers, especially that lower middle order of India didn't really strike it big against a weak bowling attack in Hong Kong.
I think, India-Pakistan game, whenever Pakistan plays against India, they don't actually, think what happened in the past. Obviously, every day is new day, and they have to prepare themselves for the new day. And I think whatever I've been hearing about Sarfaraz, and he said that, we are ready for India big game. It's understandable that it's a high pressure game, but we are not looking into the past that we won against India in Champions Trophy in the final. Tomorrow will be the important day, and we have to focus on that. And I think they have to look into that as well. So nothing they are carrying or taking from from yesterday or in the past. I think this is the way to look forward.
Okay, quickly let's run you through the Pakistan team. Whatever little I can see at the moment, they've gone unchanged compared to the game that they played versus Hong Kong. They were, of course, talks of bringing in the spinner back in, but they've got Usman Khan. That's great news for them because he seemed injured in the last match, but had also picked up 3 wickets. Mohammad Amir still retained. Hassan Ali is their star bowler. Fahim the all-rounder. Shadab the leg spinner. And then that batting lineup with the experienced Shoaib Malik, Sarfaraz Ahmed, Asif Ali, the big hitter, Babar Azam, Imamul Haq, and Fakhar Zaman. Sanjay, would you have gone with that spinner then?
No, as you were saying before the show as well, I think they rely a lot on their seam bowlers, and they've got Shadab Khan to bring in a bit of variety. The other option would have been somebody like a Nawaz, as a left-arm spinner, but I don't think that's an exciting option anymore in 50 overs cricket. You'd rather have a wrist spinner. maybe Mohammad Amir, somebody was talking about resting Mohammad Amir, but on form, but against India you play Mohammad Amir, so that hasn't happened. Junaid Khan was the other option to get some experience. They haven't gone there. And I'd like to know from Sakleen actually what Asif Ali is all about, because he's been slotted there at, I think, number 4 and 5.
Yeah. I hear he's a big hitter. Sakleen, if you could tell us a bit about him.
Yes, you're right, Nikhil. He's a big hitter. He's a big hitter, and he actually quite aggressive kind of a player. He played here in domestic and PSL. He doesn't take pressure. Actually, he put pressure on the opposition, and he just he attacks on the opposition as well. So he's kind of a, you can say that he's kind of a power hitter.
Okay.
That kind of a player.
Okay, a word from you, Sakleen, because I know you're a big fan of Afridi, the young, tall, fast bowler that they've got. There were questions, as Sanjay also mentioned, about Mohammad Amir's form. Because this is an inconsequential game, so to say, with regards to the tournament, would you have gone with that youngster then?
With the Shaheen Afridi? I think, in the previous program, I mentioned that before the tournament, whatever the 11 that is their best 11. They have to pick the best 11 before the tournament, and they have to take that best 11 through the tournament, unless or until if they get any injury. I think this is the best 11 for them, and it's a good news that Shaheen Afridi is sitting there on the bench, and bench looks strong as well. And Mohammad Amir, what you call Sarfraz, he just mentioned in his interview, and he said that he's our leader, bowling unit leader, and we heavily believe on him. But he's not taking wickets. That is the concern. But we will look into that, and he knows that he's a striker. But he's doing his job brilliantly. He's happy with Amir.
Will Pakistan continue to back Mohammad Amir despite his form, Sakleen, you think, right through the tournament and going forward as well?
But if you see that in a big event or big game, he comes quite strongly, and Sarfraz and co and the sports staff, they keep saying that we trust on him. He's doing his job. He's not taking wicket. That is the only concern, and he's a striker. But he's doing his job brilliantly, and we are happy with that. But there is a little concern that he's not taking wicket. Sarfraz, he just mentioned in the press conference.
Okay, because you talk about him not taking wicket, now here's his record. Remember, he had an outstanding performance against India in the Champions Trophy final. But since then, if you take a look at after that, I think he's played 8 matches, he's picked up 3 wickets. Overall, see that average. Since his comeback into international cricket, average is 34. But after that Champions Trophy...
Yeah, he's looking for the right opposition, Nikhil. He's not got the same opposition since the Champions Trophy final. So, I mean, it's unfortunate they play a lot against Zimbabwe. They had 5 one-day internationals against Zimbabwe. They play a lot against Sri Lanka. They've had a series in New Zealand. They've gone to Australia, but not as much as India plays. So maybe today is the day for him.
The one positive in those numbers is look at his economy still. I mean, today's day and age in one-day cricket, with the kind of field restrictions that are in place, 2 new balls, it's hard to have an economy of under 5. And he's still doing that. So there is still a positive.
Okay, just one last question on Amir. Sakleen, I come to you because I was reading a lot about what's really gone wrong with him. Many cricket writers from Pakistan believe that he's really not into it. Mentally, he's not enjoying playing all the 3 formats. And as Sanjay mentioned, he was waiting for the right opportunity. If that is the case, then if he really needs to get into the groove, no better opposition than India to bring him back mentally, you'd say?
Yeah, like in the previous program, we had a debate on that. When I had a chat with him, and he said that he's quite happy to play all format, but he need rest as well. But Pakistan, they are not giving him rest properly. But I think the time will come where he will decide that I don't want to play Test cricket, just one day or T20. Rotating policy, workload, and all kind of things. I think we are not looking after our players, especially Mohammad Amir, and I think that that is the one reason we can actually see. But I think Amir need to actually step up, or or he need to come and sit with the
Right.
the selection committee or sports staff or whatever, and he need to plan himself that what exactly he need to do it for the future. But
Okay.
I think that rotating policy will be good. Looking after the workload, they
Right.
need to look into that. But
Okay.
I think these are the things which they need to work on.
Okay.
Interestingly, you only take sort of, if you want to rest a current international player, or if he wants rest, test matches is the one that he wants to rest from.
Yeah, this has become a trend in choose to play test matches, or are actually forced to play test matches, not so much the limited over. When we're talking about setting up that match, Sakleen was talking about Mohammad Abir. One day he will have to decide and then tell which is the format that he wants to rest for. That moment is not right now. He is playing that match. Let's listen into the number one stakeholder of our sport. Those are the fans. These are the Indian and the Pakistani fans looking forward to this encounter.
Fakar Zaman.
Mohammad Amir. His bowling is actually next level. I have not seen anyone like him.
Hasan Ali, Fakar Zaman.
I'll go with Shadab Khan.
Fakar Zaman would be my close favorite.
Fakar Zaman because he hit that double 100.
Mohammad Amir because of his pace. Jasprit Bumrah, he's taken an Indian fast bowling to an elevation. He's superb.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Rohit Sharma, captain Indian.
I think Jasprit Bumrah would be the standout player in the current Indian team.
2011 match India against Pakistan.
Virat Kohli's 183 against Pakistan was very special. I would say when Sachin scored his 100th, that would be most.
2011 semi-finals in Mohali.
183 of Virat Kohli against Pakistan.
India!
All right, fans have geared up. I was saying that they've already qualified for the Super 4, but the kind of information we're getting there, the match is sold out. It's chock-a-block. The gates actually open 2 hours before scheduled time, so the stadium is already full. We were talking about the Indian team. Jasprit Bumrah, Hardik Pandya come in. It was on expected lines. What would you tell a Khalil Ahmed who put in a good performance in the first game? Would you have taken
They would
the
have
risk
told
of-
him already, I think, that
Before
you're
the
playing
prefer-
this match, you're
Yeah.
getting your cap, but we'll have to get Bumrah back in, so just go there and enjoy yourself. And these are things that happen more often now. Players are used to playing one game, and despite good performances, in fact, in today's scenario, you have man of the match award winners getting dropped for the next game. It's happened in the IPL, so they're more used to being left out. They don't sulk like we used to, and we used to get dropped. So I think he'll take it in his stride.
All right. Would you have tinkered with something else? Hardik comes in as the all-rounder, so I don't know, out of the box thing, replace him with Kedar?
No, I think they need a sixth option who can give them a few overs. I don't think Hardik Pandya is quite the third seamer that ideally India would like him to be. So that sixth option, yesterday again, or last night, Kedar bowled 7 overs. So even if he can give a few overs.
Quickly, can I ask you, 5-wicket haul against England? Would that give Hardik the necessary confidence to become a 10-over bowler in 50 overs cricket? Can that spill over
Ideally should. I think he still needs to do a little bit more with the ball. I think he's too predictable every time he bowls. Both captains, I mean, I don't know about Rohit, we haven't seen him much, but Virat, you can clearly see, doesn't trust him as his third seamer. He wants him in the team as a backup fourth guy. And on his day, he might give you those 10 overs, but so far consistently he struggled to bowl 10 overs.
Okay, let me set the cat amongst the pigeons. The other idea could have been Bhuvneshwar, and we saw him against Hong Kong. We know he thrives in condition where the ball swings. Here, nothing was happening for him. Would you then have gone with someone like a Khalil who's more of quicker, hit
We
the
need
deck?
the experience of Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the death overs. If you remember the Champions Trophy final, India lost the game in the last 10 overs where lots of runs were scored. But that's when Bhuvi has become a very reliable, experienced death bowler along with Bumrah.
Okay.
So that's one reason you would want to play him.
Okay, talking about Bhuvneshwar Kumar, now here are his numbers. As I was saying, he's been an outstanding bowler for India, the leader of the pack, so to say. But his bowling average in the first 10 overs there, if you look at it in ODI since 2017, these are the 5 worst or 6 worst performances. He's third poorest there as far as his average is concerned at 48.5.
As in not getting as many wickets, you're saying, in the first 10
yes,
overs.
in the first 10 overs is what we're saying. But as you make a point there, that probably he's really, as Sanjay points out there, his real use is also towards the end and not just with the new ball.
Yeah, I mean, again, last night he showed towards the end he came back. You kind of expect him to take a couple of games after injury to, there was no swing on offer either at the start. The one thing that surprised me, yesterday we saw his numbers, is his strike rate is not as great as you kind of associate it with. And with the new balls you need.
Has it diminished in the last
it'll be interesting
couple
to
of
actually
years?
break down the numbers.
Yeah, because
but
if you remember Bhuvaneshwar Kumar when he arrived in white ball cricket, wickets at the top with that banana swing, but maybe now he's a change bowler, he's evolved.
The banana swing wasn't happening is what we saw.
Yeah, and I think now he's become more a valuable T20 bowler than a 50 overs bowler. Maybe it's fitness as well, because T20 they're bowling just 4 overs. 50 overs cricket is a lot more physically demanding. You're bowling 10 overs in 3.5 hours. 10 overs of intense bowling in this kind of a heat also must be.
And
but
clearly
that bowling towards the end of the innings has been a huge improvement than the first 10 overs. India will need wickets with the new ball.
Okay, a quick word. Jasprit Bumrah makes a return. Ajit, I come to you. Last match, many thought that the Indian bowling attack was looking toothless. Just that one change gives it a completely different look, you'd say?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the most improved bowler in the world. I might be forgetting somebody's name, but in all formats.
Yeah,
really. I mean,
I might say all time.
No.
Best to say that he's good.
No, I mean, at the moment, you could see his progress even in Test cricket. T20 and one-day cricket, he was India's best bowler. Not just bowls well up front, but comes back at different stages in the innings and picks you wicket and bowls economically. Very few bowlers do that in the world at the moment.
Okay, let's now talk about the Pakistani batting lineup. Sanjay mentioned right at the start of the program. Now, look at that batting lineup, and that is one of the reasons why they've been doing so well. And one of the stars for them, we saw him in the Champions Trophy final, and ever since has been scoring a lot of run, and that is Fakhar Zaman. If you take a look at his numbers as well, and there we've got it. Best batting averages in ODIs in this calendar year, minimum of 8 innings. There you have it, just behind Virat Kohli. I mean, his numbers speak for themselves, would you say, Sanjay?
You know, I mean, our memory should be the Champions Trophy final, because that was really the stage. The quality of bowling was good. Playing in England, batting at the top of the order is not easy. You can maybe discount the 5 one-day matches against Zimbabwe, because he got a double 100 there. But within the opportunities that he's got, and he'll be a dangerous batsman out there. But today he'll be tested, because against left-hand batsmen, especially Bumrah, is pretty good. And we'll see how... Actually, the difference between the two teams will be how... or rather for Pakistan would be how they play our wrist spinners in the middle stage. Because Champions Trophy final, if you remember, our spinners, Sakler, were Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin. Jadeja conceded 8 runs an over in that match. Ashwin conceded 7. And now we have Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal, and they have been game changers for India. So that will decide how this match goes.
We will get Saklin's word on the Indian spinners. A different attack, as Sanjay mentioned, from what we saw at the Champions Trophy. A different challenge for the Pakistani batsmen.
I totally agree with Sanjay. I think it'll be quite challenging for Pakistani, especially these wrist spinners. And I think we are not too good to maneuver, in the middle. And, they need to actually keep rotating the strike, and, they shouldn't be looking boundaries all the time. It depends on the surface, it depends on the conditions and how you feel about in the middle. But I think we are not too good in to rotate the strike or maneuvering the inning. But I think I saw Kuldeep Yadav against England, and he was very effective. And the good thing is he doesn't he doesn't have a fear, to just give the air to the ball, and he can spin the ball both sides. Okay. I think it'll be quite challenging for the Pakistani batting lineup against the Indian spinners.
Okay, but to begin with, it's going to be Indian fast bowlers versus the Pakistani openers. The opener that we were talking about, Fakhar Zaman, he has his journey out spin in international cricket, and what has really propelled him to being that second best average holder in this calendar year.
बहुत बड़े स्टेज पे और फिर इंडिया के अगेंस्ट, तो वाकई वो मेरी लाइफ की, मैं जितनी भी क्रिकेट खेलूँ, जितनी भी परफॉर्मेंसेस दूँ, सबसे यादगार इनिंग मेरी है.
There is so much X factor there with Fakhar Zaman. It's unbelievable. He hits balls in different areas. He's fearless. He takes the game on. He plays incredibly well. Plays the short ball well. So he's got the whole package.
Since his breakthrough performance against India, Fakhar has established himself as the batting mainstay of Pakistan's limited overs side. In fact, in ODIs, only 4 players have scored more runs than him since his debut.
जब से डेब्यू किया मैंने वेस्ट इंडीज़ में, तो इतना अच्छा नहीं गया मेरा वो टाइम. फिर वापस मैं पाकिस्तान आया, तो डायरेक्ट मैं NCA चला गया और NCA में काफ़ी ज़्यादा हार्ड वर्क किया कोचेस के साथ मैंने कवर कर ली थी.
He just has an answer for every opportunity he gets. It's very pleasing to the eye. People like him, and I like him, and I think it's very good for the game.
Classical technique, Fakhar has worked hard to enhance his game.
He has always worked on his game. He's been to the National Academy, worked with the coaches. He's worked on a bouncer because he gets hit quite a lot.
He goes all around the wicket. What we're working on with him now is just to give him a defence. And if we give him that defence, that's going to make him into a better player. And then we can look at him in terms of Test cricket as well.
मेरा ये है कि मैं मैच टू मैच और सीरीज़ टू सीरीज़ ख़ुद को देखता हूँ और अपने ऊपर काम करता हूँ.
Fakhar Zaman saying that that particular inning that he played in the Champions Trophy final completely changed his career, so to say. Ajit, going back to that inning, it could have all turned out very differently had that been a no ball.
Remind him,
yeah, correct. Now, looking forward to Bumrah versus Fakhar Zaman first up.
Yeah, I mean the one thing we saw in England as well, I think a lot of people, took them by surprise that he can bowl the outswing as well, and he's been doing that for a while. Maybe hasn't picked up the wicket that he did of that Jennings. That's why not many people have noticed it, but he actually bowls with that action. If you see his release, is like an outswing bowler. It's a tough skill to do with his kind of action. That'll be a great ball to bowl if he can get the ball to swing even a little bit. I know it's going to be difficult in those conditions, but full will be a good ball to go.
And one big improvement and change that is brought in his bowling is the no ball thing. If you saw the last Test match where he was bowling 6 or 7 inches from behind the bowling crease, so that is wonderful to see. He's a quick learner.
All right.
No, maybe not quick with the no ball. It took him a year to learn, actually.
Yeah, and also that awkward action really makes it tough for any batsman to read him. We'll take a look at the top order of both teams. Now, this is going to be very, very crucial. If you were to look at international cricket, I don't think any two teams rely on the top 3 as much as India and Pakistan. And these are those numbers that speak for themselves. Look at those averages of the top 3 in ODI since 2017. India right on top and Pakistan right on check.
If you look at Pakistan, it's very unique actually. Somebody like the captain, bats at number 6 or 7 at the most. In the last 19 matches or something, he has not batted 11 times.
Yes.
So Pakistan, the batting has generally been done by the top 3. It has also been because they have not played stronger opposition, so the batting has not been tested down to its depth. Against India, it might be. India's cases, I think, slightly different because they've got all the cream at the top. Shikhar Dhawan is an outstanding 50 overs batsman. He bats at the top. Rohit Sharma, he's a world beater in 50 overs cricket. He's at the top, and then Virat Kohli. So there's no chance for people like Dinesh Karthik and those guys down the order. So India's scenario with their top, scoring that many runs is a little different from Pakistan.
Okay, Sakleen, I'll come to you about those top 3. There was some sort of criticism that came Imamul Haq's way in the last match, saying that he was batting really, really slowly. But can you really blame him with these kind of numbers? Do you think Pakistan consciously have this strategy that the top 3 or the 4 batsmen have to do majority of the job, because lower down, as he's saying, Sarfraz hasn't batted, Asif is a youngster, Shoaib Malik too hasn't got too many chances to bat at the moment?
I think they should play their natural game, and Imam when he goes in, if he feels good, then he plays shots. If he doesn't feel good, he take his time. That is his natural way to play, and I think you shouldn't be changing your natural game. And Fakhar, if he sees that the ball is in his area, he loves to score runs, he loves to play shots, that is Fakhar. The Fakhar will play his natural game. But I think they don't think that change your game, and I think this is the best way to go. And especially when you are playing against India, you need to play your natural game.
Okay, and coming
back, you need to assess the pitch and you need to play your natural game.
All right, coming back to the final bit, and that was the heat factor. Ajit, how much of a difference now you think India going in? Shikhar Dhawan got 100, fielded also the entire 50 overs. I thought they would.
He's going to think about the bowlers.
Yeah, I think Bumrah and Pandya have just come in, so they've had a decent rest, so they should be fresh to go. Bhuvi, I think that game ideally would have helped him to get some sort of bowling under his belt. I would ideally like a day in between these 2 games. Might be a little bit sore, but his bowling rhythm might be better off for that game. I don't think. Sometimes you just push yourself. It might be tough the first couple of hours, which actually could matter in the game. But two new guys coming in, fresh pair of legs. I think India will be okay.
So India was very smart in resting their two key players, especially Bumrah, who is half their bowling. So India have been very smart with their selection. The scheduling could have been a lot better. In this day and age, in a place like Dubai, to have back-to-back 50 overs matches, the most physically demanding format of the three. So,
have you played back-to-back matches?
Yes, long time back, and it was also
he used
terrible.
to travel and play.
Yeah, we played one in Kolkata and next in Bangalore. So
Did you get any runs then?
I have very bad memory of my cricketing days.
Okay. Thanks all for joining us. Hazard a guess, quick prediction.
Tight game. Really looking forward to it after a long time. India-Pakistan.
Ajit?
Yeah, I mean, anything over 275 will be tough for India to chase.
Okay. Saklin?
I think it's 50-50 and 270 plus they need to put on the board.
Saklin, you have not told us anything new. We know it's 50-50. 50 overs match. Tell us about your prediction.
Yeah, I think you don't need to look that far back. They won the Champions Trophy and everything. You come with the new strategies and planning, and obviously every day is new day and every game is new game. And India is playing brilliantly. Pakistan played last couple of games against the less stronger team. India have been playing against the stronger team. If you see, they are playing quality cricket, but we are playing against Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka. You just mentioned that, and West Indies. So, and this is a big game for Pakistan. They'll be under pressure as well. But if you see that in terms of both team, it looks 50-50. Both team looks,
evenly.
Okay,
it's 50-50.
It's evenly matched. Okay, evenly matched. He's saying interesting. Both of you mentioned 270 odd. I mean, I think 240 odd is like the average total. The best that has been chased here on this ground is 219, 220 if I'm correct in the last 3-4 years. So it's going to be very, very tough.
Who has played in the last 3-4 years is also crucial.
Pakistan has. Pakistan has played a lot.
And their opposition also.
Yes, they have played a lot of games. Okay, Sanjay Manjrekar, Ajit Agarkar, Saklin Mushtaq, thanks so much for joining us. That's all that we have for you on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday, brought to you in association with our technology partner. We will see you at the lunchtime break.